Hello. Oh, hello. Okay, we're going to have to, first of all, I'm going to preface this. I am losing my voice. I'm filming this video then going on vocal rest for the rest of the day because I have a show coming up and I cannot lose my voice. But, hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to a brand new video. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amelia and I upload all kind of book content. And let's just get on with it because we are here today with our monthly wrap up and new month TBR. So it's the first one of the year, guys. Monthly wrap up and TBR of the year. So hands up if you're excited. I am. But before we even get into our February TBR, we are going to get on with the wrap up because we have a few books to talk about. I have read a total of 9 books in January, which for me, January is usually the slowest month of reading of the year for me. Not because I don't want to read in January, but because my birthday falls in January and I always have big plans. And I think this year I have bigger plans than ever. And for some reason or somehow I still managed to read 9 books. So if someone could tell me how that works, I would like to know because I'm shocked. I'm as shocked as you are. But let's just get on with it. Let's try and keep this as short and sweet as possible. Let's go. So we started the month off with a reread and I was listening to the audiobook of this, and it is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I did a reread of this because I was listening to the audiobook, the full cast recording that they are releasing at the moment. Sorry, that's something in my eye. They're currently releasing a full cast recording of this on Audible for each book, and I really wanted to listen to them, so I bought it with my credit like way before I started rereading this, and literally was so happy I picked this up. If you've watched my TikToks and watched my 75 books at the beginning, this was what I was listening to. I really enjoyed the audiobook of this, the full cast recording. If you also know, I did read all the other books as an audiobook because I found it easier. So yeah, I was very happy to read this one. It worked because in January I went to Harry Potter Studios for the first time, so it was quite nice to even have a couple of books read by then. You'll see as we go on. So yeah, I gave this a 5-star. It's a reread. Harry Potter, the whole series is a 5-star. We do not talk about the author, but the series is a 5-star book series for me anyway. So each book is going to be 5 stars pretty much. So yeah. And then I read on my Kindle, not physically, we're going to see how long I can film this before my battery does run out, so fingers crossed. On my Kindle, I read The Boyfriend Candidate by Ashley Winstead. My friend recommended this to me, she read it and loved it, and I really enjoyed it. I actually now need to get my phone out because I can't actually remember what I rated it. I think I do, but I got my favourite earlier already and I knew it was going to close itself down. Okay, so I rated The Boyfriend Candidate 3.5 stars, no. 4.5 stars, sorry, 4.5 stars. It was close. It was close to being a 5-star, just not close enough. I really, really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed the romance. I love fake dating. I love fake dating with my whole life. Like, it's one of my favourite tropes. I find it so fun to read every time. I don't think I've ever had a fake dating trope that I've ended up going, I hate. Maybe I have, I just don't remember. I really, really enjoyed The Boyfriend Candidate and the story between them. I think it was just a beautiful, fun little story. The next one I read was a reread of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Again, I listened to this as a full cast recording, and no difference to the first one. I loved it, gave it 5 stars. It was really fun to listen to. I think the full cast recording just gives you, it's way more immersive, and it's so good. So yeah, I definitely recommend if you haven't read the series and you want to listen to the audiobook of it, to do the full cast recording of it, or even if you have read the books and you want to do a reread, get the cast recordings and listen to it because they are so good. So, still got the bookmark in here. That's mad. Yeah, so good. And then I read The Wingman by Stephanie Archer. I know you said Garber, no, Archer. This is the 3rd book in the Vancouver Storm series. This follows Hayden and Darcy. I really, really enjoyed this book. I wouldn't say it's my favourite romance book in the world. Like, it isn't, like, my most favourite romance book I've read. I think it was a good friends to lovers romance, which I thought was good. And it was a good story, and it was banter. Like, this is what Daydream could have been if it was a bit better. I really enjoyed this book. I loved the story. I loved Hayden and Darcy's story. I loved seeing them find their way together, which was really, really fun to read. So I gave this book a 3.5 stars. Like I said, nothing magnificent, not my favourite book. I wouldn't say I'm thinking about it, or have been thinking about it since I finished it, but I did enjoy it when I read it, and I'm really happy that I have continued the series. So I've heard mixed reviews on Gloves Off, which is the next book in this series, but I will read it at some point. I know it's Alexi's story, and I know Wildcard comes out very soon, so yeah. Then I read a book that I've been putting off for like a whole year, and that was The Striker by Anna Huang. Now, I put this off because it was so long, and I was like, adding to football romance. Two things that I didn't think I'd like. Football romances. I like sports romances, but football romance specifically, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. And then the length just is one of those things. I'm very put off and intimidated by chunky books. I think since reading Alchemized, a lot of these books don't feel as chunky to me anymore, because Alchemized was a 1,000-page book, and I'm like, oh, that was a lot. But I thoroughly enjoyed this. Asha and Scarlett were I just think their story was beautiful. I think it was fun to read. It was intense. I feel like it could have been rounded up a lot sooner. I think it added more plot twists and drama that did not need to be in it at some points, because I think there was points in this book that could have been left out. I think the main conflict was the fact that he is dating his teammate's sister, and that's obviously the conflict, like him when he finds out, and they also didn't get on a lot of the time, so even worse. And once that got resolved, I felt like the book could have like kind of had an epilogue and ended, and it just didn't. That was still like, I still had like 30% to go. So yeah, but I did still enjoy this book. I gave it, why did my phone lock so quick? I gave this one a 4.25 stars. I think it was still really good. I think if it was a bit bit shorter, I probably would have given it like 4.5, 4.75. But it was really good, and I really enjoyed their story and seeing it. And the fact that it takes place in London, I think it was just great. Then I read a book that I'm slightly disappointed about, and that was Life's Too Short by Abby Jimenez. This book, I feel like I just didn't get my normal feeling I get when I read Abby Jimenez books in this one. There's obviously some kind of like health or mental health issue that is talked about in her books, and it's always something hard hitting, and I appreciate that. But this one just felt, I don't know, I didn't really love the story. I don't know how to describe it without spoiling anything. I just didn't love the story. I didn't really love Vanessa, and I didn't really love Adrian. I didn't really care for Adrian when he came in Happy Ever After playlist. And like, I knew from after that it was going to be his story, especially after reading, finding out about that. I was like, okay, and I didn't really like Adrian anyway, and I didn't really care for Vanessa. There were some parts I liked. I think it was sweet. Just again, not my favourite Abby Jimenez. I gave it a 3-star. I think there were some parts where I was like, actually I do like this, but there was like, the bits I liked did not get away by the things I didn't like. I don't know how to explain how I didn't like, because I don't really remember anything from the story in the slightest. I won't lie to you, apologies, but my memory is like a goldfish. It goes very quickly, unless like it's one of those ones that I've really stuck with me. I've probably forgotten the full story, unfortunately. And then I listened to an audiobook on Audible, and I was listening to it throughout the whole time. It's called The Rebound by Leanne Slade. It is literally only on Audible. There is no physical copy of the book. There is no Kindle book. It is literally just an Audible book, and it was free, and it's actually narrated by Claudia Jessie, who plays Eloise in Bridgerton. So I listened to it and was like, I recognise that voice, and I loved it. And I think this story was really good. So you're following a girl called Kitty who is afraid of marriage. She's been with her partner for 7 years, a long time. He then proposes, and she panics and says yes, but actually she doesn't want to say yes. She then has a panic attack, then basically goes on a break, says she needs to work on herself. So she goes and works on herself. While she's gone to work on herself, they go on a break. He's kind of like sleeping around, and she's trying to figure out herself, going to therapy. She meets another guy, and trying to figure things out, figure what she wants. The guy she meets is also very much against marriage, because he's getting out of a divorce. So it's kind of what he gives her the chance to have after she finds out that her partner's like had slept with someone else. He kind of gave her an opportunity to have like dates, I guess, before she then goes back to him. It was really good. It's a really good audiobook. It was really fun, but also I felt really informative, and I felt like it was just, I really, really enjoyed the story. And yeah, I gave it a 3.75 stars, sorry. I really enjoyed it. I think it was really good. Again, I don't think it was anything special, but I did enjoy the story from it. I then read listened to The Teacher by Frida McFadden. This took me 2 days to listen to, because I was listening to it at work, and oh my god, I was obsessed. This book was such a good thriller. I think it's so far my favourite thriller I've read. And I'm really getting into my thrillers. Well, I'm trying to get into my thrillers. You'll see in my TBR for next month the two of the books I'm going to read. But anyway, I am really, really happy that I have read The Teacher, though, because it was one of those ones that I was like tempted to, but I wasn't sure. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to put it on, and I became obsessed. I loved it. I was really intrigued by the story. I think it was a very good story. I mean, it's a Freedom McFadden book. I don't think she's anything magnificent, but she's got, like, I think there's a reason why everyone loves her books. They are just easy reads, they're short, and they're always like, they're fast paced, and I love them. So yeah, I gave it a 3 stars. I thought it was really good. Happy I've read it. And then I read a book that might be controversial to people, my response to this, but I read The Invisible Life of Ali LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I think it took me about 40% of the book actually about halfway through the book, I was like, I nearly DNF'd this book. You will see in my video coming up in February, but I nearly DNF'd this book because I was like, I don't actually think I can read it. I just can't get into it. I don't have any connection to anything. Do not feel connected to Ali LaRue in the slightest. I didn't care. And I was really struggling, and I was getting annoyed at myself for struggling because I was like, it's a beloved book, everyone loves it, I've heard people cry at it. So I decided to pick the rest of it up as an audiobook, and I literally finished that on Monday. And I put, my rating is 3.5 stars. I think the book is good in some ways, but I think I didn't feel connected to it, and I felt because I wasn't connected to it, I didn't feel like I could rate it highly. Sorry, my mum was going out again, I'm confused. I don't think I could rate it that highly, unfortunately. I feel so bad because I know everyone loves this book, but yeah, I think I preferred Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil to this. This was a good book, I just didn't love it. So when I started listening to it, I actually started to get into it and really did enjoy it. And the whole rest of the story, like the last 40% of the story, I was like, okay, I can see why people love this book. But if I could get into it from the beginning to that, I would be fine. I'd be fine. But no, I found myself just trying to read it for the sake of it, but not really paying attention to what I was reading. And I was like, nope, not a good sign. So yeah, I will mention the book I'm currently reading. I'm hoping I will put it in my February wrap up, because I haven't finished it yet, but I'm currently reading Slapshot by Chelsea Curto, and I think it could be my first 5-star, if that's not a reread, of the year, because I am loving it. I'm loving it. It's Hudson and Madeline's story, and I'm absolutely loving their story, so I definitely cannot wait to see what happens and see them fall in love. So yeah, anyway, let's move on to my February TBR. We have our trusty jar here again. I think I might have to start taking out the TBR prompts once I've read them and putting them somewhere else until I this jar is done. I need to add some more as well because it feels very naff and empty. So we're going to use this trusty TBR jar. I have got 2 specific books I am going to be reading, but I'm going to be reading them next anyway. So I'll get to them last. I'm going to pick the prompts, and then I'll get the books off after I pick all the prompts. So this month I'm going to pick 5 prompts, so I'll have 7 books altogether on my TBR, because I have got a show this month, but I am doing a video whilst I'm doing that show of reading for my screen time, so there's a chance. So let's just start, because my battery does not like me on this camera, and get the first prompt. It is read a book from an author, I can't remember, an author you've never read before. I think there's quite a lot of opportunity on there, because I do have quite a few new books I bought recently that have authors I've not read before, so that is number 1. Number 2, I'm trying to get to the bottom so I know it's not one I've recently had. Not that I actually remember what I got for the January one. January feels like it's been a long month. A book with a white cover. Okay, I think I have an option. Already for that one. I've got a few options for that, to be fair, but number 3. A book that ends in an even number. So I've got to look for this without getting spoilers, but book that ends in an even number, that is book prompt number 3. A book you are scared to read. Okay, again, could be quite a few on my TBR. But a book you're scared to read. Number 4. One more prompt, guys. A hardback book. Okay, that's the 5th prompt. I am now going to go find the books for those prompts. And then I will come back to you once I've done that. Okay, we are going to keep this short and sweet. Because like I said, I think in every clip, my battery is running out. However, for my TBR for February, I'm going to start with the 2 books I'm going to read that I didn't pull prompts for. And the first one is The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. I really want to read it. And I was like, you know what? We're going to break it up with a little bit of thriller because I've read a lot of romance in this month. I need a little bit of thriller. And I'm also really trying to get into my thrillers this year. So you might see that thrillers will make a entrance to my TBRs a bit more this year, hopefully. That's my hope. So we got The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden, and then the other thriller that I will be reading is for a specific video is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. I have not read a book by Lisa Jewell yet, so this is the first one, and I was actually looking for a different one, but I didn't find a different one in foils. This was the only one I found in foils, so I bought this one. Not the only one, there was other ones, but this was the one that I was most intrigued by out of all of them in foils, so I picked this one up literally like last week. So not long, but I will be reading that one as well soon, so I'm very excited. I think this might be the first one I pick up out of the 2, but I'm not sure. So yeah, very excited. Then we are moving on to our prompts, so let's go. First of all, I have the prompt of a book that ends with an even number, and I picked The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead. Again, this is a very new book. I only got this like a week ago. It only came out a couple of weeks ago, but since I read, I just realised it got damaged in my Amazon parcel, but it's okay. Since I read The Boyfriend Candidate, I want to read more Ashley Winstead books. This book only recently came out, and people have said it's like kind of like Daisy Jones and the Six, the favourites, and I'm like, those two books I gave 5 stars. I love, and everyone knows how much I love Daisy Jones and the Six. I talk about it way too much. I'm obsessed with that book. It's been 4 years since I read it the first time, and I'm still obsessed with it to this day. So yeah, The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead is going on my TBR for a book that ends with even numbers, because it ends in 374. So perfect. Didn't have to look far into that. I was hoping to get this on my TBR this month, so it works. Then we have a book with a white cover prompt, which I picked up A Spark of Everflame by Pen Cole. It is very white. Look, it's all white, apart from like obviously the design, but it's got a white cover. And I feel like I needed to get a bit of fantasy on here, so I could try and get back into my fantasy kick, because I think I'm struggling with that. Okay, so Sparkle the Everflame, I've heard really good things about this book, and I am quite excited to start it. I know it's on Kindle Unlimited as well, so I could technically read it on my Kindle if I wish to. Potentially will. But yeah, this is going on my TBR. We then have a hardback book. I could have put Quicksilver on there, but I didn't want to. Even though I really want to read that book, I didn't want to put the same one as I had in January on my TBR, so I decided to not put Quicksilver on there. And instead I put Diabound by Sable Sorensen. I did try to read this once, but it was at the beginning of a 24-hour readathon. Not at the beginning of a 24-hour readathon, more like it was near the end. It was like on the second day of that. And I was like, I started reading and I was like, it's good, but I can't get myself into it. I know if I force myself to read it, I'm not going to enjoy it. So I just didn't. I was like, I'll put it back and pick it back up when I'm ready. So hopefully this month I can read Diabound, because I would really love to get this book off my TBR and actually read it. So then we've got, I've lost the prompt, but okay, found it. A book you're scared to read. I picked this book up not because I'm scared it's going to be really like bad or anything. I'm scared because so many people love this book. Sophia Tuxford has loved this book, and I saw people love Invisible Life of Helen LaRue, and I didn't love it, so I'm scared because I'm scared I'm not going to love it. That's my thing. But I picked up Heavenly Bodies for that one by Imani Uri. Again, a very recent book to my TBR, because I bought this with my birthday money. But I would love to see if I do enjoy it, because it would be nice if I enjoy this book. So yeah. And then finally, for a book from an author I've never read before, I picked up a book that I've been dying to read for so long, and I have got the second book, and I've not even read the first book, and it is Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. This is a hockey romance, and I've heard it, if you like Binding 13, you'll like this book as well. I'm not entirely sure why, but I've heard that from someone. It might have been Alexa Ray, or I might be imagining it, but hopefully I'll enjoy this book, because it would be nice to be able to then get into the second book from the series. But that is my TBR for February. So let me know in the comments what you read in January and what you're planning to read in February. And if you did enjoy this video, then please give it a thumbs up, please comment down below, please subscribe, and I'll see you again very soon with another video. Bye.